Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Now it is time to introduce our main speaker for tonight, Peter J.
My name's Peter. I'm an alcoholic. I want to thank Jeff for asking me to come and speak. It's always a privilege to be able to speak at an AA meeting, and I'm not the authority, although sometimes I like to think I am. The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous right there, there's your authority if you need one, you know. But I think alcoholics all feel they are the authority anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that's the big book. You should read it. I hear it's great. I want to congratulate all the birthday people, and I feel like I've already had a meeting with Tina. Thank you for that deal about I never heard that before, you know, the coffee commitment. How cool is that? Coffee commitment. No one goes out. You know, I believe that's probably the truth. I didn't know how to make coffee, so I never volunteered for that one. I just got lucky, though. I didn't have to go back out. I was the greeter. That one works too. Greeter's a good one. I used to have to greet here, not here, but here, when Rodeo was on Rodeo. And, well, I guess I better start at the beginning. I'm an alcoholic. I like drinking. Did a couple of drugs, pretty much whatever you had. I like the party deal. I'm a party guy. I'm a party guy. I like parties, and I do, and I never wanted them to stop. And when they asked me to leave, I never wanted to leave. So when they forced me to leave, I would go to the next party and start it wherever it was. And I loved that party thing. I was born here in Party Town, you know. I was born in Hollywood. I grew up down in Balboa, down in Newport, and I come from a big family of these school teachers. Had these 5 kids, Pat, Pete, Pug, Peg, and Pam. And they expected us to be really normal, and they did the best they could. They just didn't work out with me very well. I wanted a little more. I didn't want to be normal. I wanted to be special. I wanted to be scary. How am I doing? You got to get that lip curling. I wanted to be bitching, you know. I wanted to be the best athlete in every sport that there was on land and sea. And I could have been, except for a couple of bad breaks. And one of them was a bottle of tequila. I love tequila. You know, it's like firepower. I liked what it did to me. I like beer, too. I like pretty much every booze that was available. But if I was allowed to choose, I would always have a tequila with a beer back. That's the way I like to drink. I like a double Jose Cuervo Gold and a beer back. And I like to bang that down and boom, explode into the eyeballs and in the head. And when that explosion happened, and the eyes kind of started, when that happened, everything was fine in my world, And I was the best athlete on land or sea, and sometimes in the air. And I like drinking. I liked to drink as much as I could, as fast as I could. And hopefully you were paying. And I like to go places drunk. I like to do stuff drunk. Drunk was fun. I was bulletproof when I was drunk. And I liked it. That's scary. My parents were very scared of me. So were the rest of my family. And I pretty much scared everybody in my path, because we didn't know what Pete was going to do, did we? And that's the way I came charging through the door. Man, I like that. Yeah, where's the party? I could be the only one there. That's fine, too. Didn't matter. Although I didn't like to drink or use alone. I'm a competitive drinker. And I like to have a little competition around, Did you just have a double? Give me a double. Man, that was fun. I kept bumping into stuff. Like other people's cars and stuff. And 25 years, 11 months, and 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I walked into the first one of these little Scientology cult things that you guys got going here. And it was over there in West Hollywood Park. It was a little candlelight book study upstairs in West Hollywood Park. Very quiet, little dim light. Everyone was, and my head was humming so fast that I never even heard what the hum was. I didn't understand what the hell was going on in that room. But you were all being so nice to Pete, who was like 250 pounds, big Irish porked out face. I couldn't even close the collar of the jacket and shirt or whatever the hell I was wearing. I had a tie on. And I went home, I smoked a big old doobie, and I thought about that, what was going on in there. What the hell did they want from me? And I had nothing, by the way, nothing. She left, they left, everybody left. The only people interested in me were like the IRS and the police and all the initials, And they were all looking for me. And I was out the back window, the landlady, the thing, with her car, and she's pregnant, that's the thing, and I owe them, and boom, they can't go in that bar, I owe them, I bounce that thing, boom, boom. And, it was tough. I was busy getting it, busy doing it, and then busy sleeping it off. I was busy every day. And, I don't even know how I kept all those balls in the air. In fact, they all started falling down all around me until I reached what they call here as incomprehensible demoralization in depth, which I think means I didn't like Pete, basically, or anything else. Because I remember the spew that came out of my mouth when somebody said, "How you doing?" I went, it was like, "Ooh, that good, huh?" It was like, I had nothing nice to say about anybody. Anytime, anyway. It was like I'd gotten to that point, and I didn't help anybody unless there was a little something in it for Pete. A little hit or a little pop or a little thing or a little bing, Otherwise, what's the pert, And I didn't start off that way. My parents raised me to help somebody if they needed help. I was a Boy Scout. I I know how to do that stuff. Trust, all helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, truly, brave, clean, and reverent. Boom. You know? And I also know the 7 sacraments: baptism, confirmation, Holy Eucharist, Holy Orders, penance, matrimony, abstinence, unction. I was a good little altar boy. I also know the linking verbs: be, am, is, are, was, were, shall be, will be, has been, have been, and had been. Look those up. Have no idea what they even are or what any of them even do, but stuff stuck in there. You know, a lot of stuff stuck in there, had no idea, because I really didn't care. I just wanted to be loved, you know, by everybody at the same time. So I became this big people-pleasing pork. When I came burping and farting into these rooms, as Eileen W. says, I was a very opinionated person with no opinions. And you know, I just, Pete, what'd you think of that movie? Oh, I was, what'd you think? Oh, it's kind of long. Yeah, me too. Long, slow, long, boring, slow, long ass, boring ass, slow moving movie. You know, that, and I'd get my opinions from you. Whatever you thought, that's what I thought, because I was such a people pleaser. And so when I got here, I had no opinions. And you have all these little things you got here. You know, that little pamphlet, just for today. Just for today, just for today, just for today, I will do something nice for somebody and not tell anyone about it. And if I do tell anyone about it, it doesn't count. So for this competitive, people-pleasing pork, you know, now I do something nice for you and not tell the rest of the world what a great guy I am for doing it? What an order. I can't go through that, you know. And so I tried doing that, because I had no choice when I got here. I just had no choice. I came in here to beat the judge. I heard that they were sentencing you to AA, and so I figured, well, you know, I'll come in here first, get the trophy. The judge will go, thanks for showing up, Pete. Good luck with your life. And that's the way it was going to go. And so I didn't know that there wasn't a sign-in chart here, and you didn't put your last name or anything, and there was no trophy case. And I didn't know a lot of stuff when I got here, but I was in like MOCUS, like everybody, you know, they say in New York, MOCUS, in your first 90 days before the alcohol is eliminated from your system, you're in MOCUS. I don't even know what that means, but it's like half mucus, half focus. It's like, MOCUS, you know. And so I was in MOCUS, and I'd be sitting out there, and the speaker would say something, and that thought would go into my head, and boom, whoa, and I'd go off on that little trip, whatever that thought was, for like 20 minutes or a year, and come back, and then, you know, and thank you for speaking, and that'd be like the only thought I got that night, but I got it. You know, and I started getting one thought at a time, one stupid thought at a meeting, one thought at a week, one thought at a... And one of those bulbs went off, and it was, if you don't drink, you won't get drunk. That one blew me away. No one ever told me that. We're a little slower down at the beach, you know. No one ever told me if you don't drink, you won't get drunk. And that one... Man, that one was like, wow. Had I only known that when I was 14, I could have been Einstein, you know, because I was good with numbers. If you don't drink, you won't get drunk. So I kept coming back, and that's when the guy said, my second meeting was Thursday night. I skipped a day. I went Monday, and maybe I skipped 2 days. Yeah, I skipped 2 days. And I went Thursday night to Brentwood was my second meeting. And I walked in there, and there were like this many people, maybe more. And I went, oh my God, this is like, they're all extras, right? And this is like a setup deal. And I couldn't believe it. And the speaker said, you can't stay sober unless you believe in God. In fact, you have to talk to God out loud on your knees twice a day. That's what an order. I can't go through with that. You know, I was an altar boy. I stole from the church. There's no way in hell God even likes me, let alone is going to help me, you know? So, but then he said, we got this thing. You can act as if. You know, and to me, that meant I could fake it. And that's what I do. And that's what I did. And that's what I am, you know? I know how to do that. I faked my way through this whole deal for all these years. So I picked a higher power that I liked, because they said I could. And I picked the ocean, because it had kicked my ass on numerous occasions. And I had respect for it. So I picked the ocean, and I went down there every day, prayed at the ocean. Keep me sober today, I dare you. Way to go. And those are my 2 prayers every day. I did it for over a month. Every day, went to the ocean, got down on my knees in the sand. Keep me sober today, I dare you. Come back there at sunset. Way to go. Until I just got tired of going to the ocean every day. Because I was living in West Hollywood, and I didn't have a car. And so I've decided to do it on my knees in my little room, like all you guys were saying you were doing. And at my first meeting, that little candlelight book study, turned out it was a gay meeting. Didn't even know it. Was there for 6 months before I found out it was gay. And it was on my first, this big, strong, beautiful lesbian, Ann Blair, God rest her soul. She grabbed me that first day, and she started dragging me to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. She was my first sponsor, and she'd stuck me on the door here at Rodeo, and at Camden on Monday night, and at Brentwood on Thursday night, and at Cedars on Sunday night, and Sunday morning. And I was the greeter. I wasn't elected. I wasn't appointed by the secretary. I wasn't voted in. She just stuck me there. I mean, there was a real greeter there, you know, an official one. The one they picked, you know, and I'm sitting across the door from whoever that was, and they're looking at me like, hey, asshole, this is my deal. And I'm going, sorry, man, you know, the lesbian. What am I going to do, you know? Hi, Peter, hi, Peter, hi, Peter, hi, Peter, hi, Peter, hi, Peter, sorry. Hi, Peter, hi, Peter. And I did that everywhere, and just like the coffee deal, you know, greeters never go out. Where's Tina? Oh, greeters never go out. You coffee people may be cool, but greeters never go out. Be a greeter if you're looking for a commitment. Anyway, I started greeting everywhere, and all of a sudden everybody knew my name. You know, I'd be in the supermarket, and, hey, Pete, what do you got in the bag? Huh? You know, I was like, oh, hi. What are you doing here? Watching me? You know? You guys were everywhere. Everywhere. I went to New Zealand. You were there. Really? Some Maoris there. Hey, Peter, how are you? They are having this meeting there in Maori. I knew exactly what was going on. It was a great meeting. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. I was in Apache Junction one summer, roasting, boiling hot. And I was getting a little cranky. And I was working out there. And I was at the hotel with everybody I was working with. And they're all like, hey, wasn't that great today? You know, and I'm going, my little Diet Coke, yeah, it was really great. I got to go to my room. Run up to my room, turn the TV on, turn it off, turn it on, call my sponsor, nobody home, call my other sponsor, nobody home, call my other sponsor, nobody home. I got a lot of sponsors. And I was looking for another opinion, you know. So I keep calling everybody, no one was home, and finally I went, oh yeah, I'm in AA. I called AA. Where are you guys? We're in Apache Junction in a half an hour. So I jumped in a cab, shot to Apache Junction, and 17 of you were sitting there in this circle, you know, saved my ass that day. And, you know, Ronnie Bob, Apache Junction, 7 years sober, grateful. Hi, I'm Slim, 9 years sober, grateful. And Ronnie Bob pretty much covered everything. And I'm listening and going, I'm from Architects of Adversity, man. He didn't cover shit. All he said was he was grateful, you know. I'm from West Hollywood, Peter J. And you know, I was at the bar in there. I could see him going in there. I knew what they were doing to John. I knew where they were, you know, and I'm over, and I'm at the thing, you know, and I called my sponsor. Nobody on that TV thing. I'm back down there, and they're drinking, and there's nothing I can do, and there's nobody I can do, and I'm in a $22 cab ride out here. Thank you for letting me share, you know. And they're all looking at me like, oh, baby, we got ourselves a live one. After the meeting, and there was an Indian there. He raised his hand, talk to a higher power today. No drink today. Wow. I mean, that's the deal, right? All of them gave me their names and numbers when the thing was over, every one of them. I didn't go to another meeting in Apache Junction the rest of the time I was there. But on the day that I left, I called every person that gave me his number, and they all fought to drive me back to the hotel, you know? We're everywhere. We're everywhere. All you have to do is try a hair. You know, show up. That's trying a hair. You don't have to memorize the big book, although Kenny did. Yeah. Right? You're the best. You don't have to memorize the big book, but it's good, you know. The shit hits the fan, open up that big book to any page, any fan belt in there, you know. Boom, 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 boom. I am probably going to make it through. Boom, thank you. Just wanted to know if I was going to make it through. And that's on every page. Every page. I don't care what page you open up. Oh, I think I can make it through. Great to know, because I was a little nervous there for a second. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little nervous, like all the time. I didn't know that until I got sober. I was never nervous when I drank and used. Try me. All of you. You know, that was kind of my attitude. And then I got sober and it was just, hi. You know, it's like, oh my God, who lives inside here? Harriet and Bob? You know, it's like, oh, Jesus, Mother of God. And I was on my knees 85,000 times a day my first 90 days because it was like flip, flop, flop, flip, 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 flop, flop, flip, flip, flop, flip, flip, flop, 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 flip. You know, it's like, oh, dear God, shoot me. And he kept missing. I have a gentle God. Bad eyesight, too. And stuff just got better. I just showed up, did what you guys told me to do, which was a piece of cake, you know? I'd like to thank Harriet for the cookies. I'd like to thank Bob for the big book. I'd like to thank Tommy for taking Mary over to the thing. And Bill, would you read a little portion of that to the chapter there? Sure, I'd love to. Thank you, Bill. Oh, I think Bill. Oh, we're both Bill? Yeah, we're both Bill. It was fun. You know, I just kept going to these stupid things and just keep beaten on the head by this Scientology cult gang of you. Keep coming back. Easy does it. Let go and let God. You know, and all of a sudden I had a house. You know. Not a clue how that happened. The woman I drove out of the country, she's back at my side going, hey, what's for dinner? You know, and I'm going, oh, I don't know. You know. And, you know, it just kept getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. All this stuff that I thought I really wanted to know how to do and stuff. Kind of like, maybe I still do, maybe I don't know. But all this new stuff like came in. Like I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, you know, with my little extra spare time, because I had a little extra spare time. Like all that time I was going, and all that time I was going, and all that time I was going, bam, bam, let me in. Here's a rubber check for some toot. You got anything? You know, in the middle of the night. All the time I'm up doing that stuff. Now I got all this extra time. So I go to a log cabin in the morning for like an hour, hour and a half. That's done. Then I'll sit around for like 3 hours waiting to go for architects to open. Oh, architects are going to open another hour and a half. Let's hold our breath. And then I go to architects, and then that's over, and I'm going, where are we going now? Oh, Camden, Monday night. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And when that's over, you know, anyone want to go to coffee? Oh, you want to go to coffee? Everybody want to go to coffee? We'll go to coffee at my house. No one gets drunk if you make coffee. Come on, come on, come on. You know? Oh. And I did that a day after day after day. You know, and slowly stuff just started falling into place. Little better, you know. And I don't know, I didn't really do anything else. Oh, I try to help somebody every day because that's what they told me. And then after I had sex for the first time sober, like, you know, that was a trip. And so then I got a male sponsor, you know. I was at this meeting over at Cedars, and this guy in this pink shirt with a little horsey on it standing up there looking like he's having a ball, you know. And I was not having that much fun. And I went, I want him to be my sponsor. So I went up, and that was Donald Madden, God rest his soul. And Dave, thanks for his tape. I just got his tape tonight. It's in my pocket. I'll play that when I get home. And remember to keep moving. That's a moving target, very difficult to hit. Keep moving, he would tell me. One night I was with my wife, and I'm screaming and yelling at her, and she's screaming and yelling at me because she has a problem, you know. She lives with an alcoholic. So that's her problem. And she wasn't doing anything about her problem. And I storm out of the house, and I storm 2 blocks away to Donald's house. It's at 11 o'clock at night. And I bang on his door, and I got no keys. I got no money. I got nothing. And I'm outside my house. Usually I used to fight with her so I could run out of the house and go to the bar. You know, but now I'm out of the house, no money and no keys, and wondering, now what do I do? So I went to Donald's house, banged on his door. Donald, let me in, please. Makes the coffee. No one ever gets drunk drinking coffee. So makes the coffee, and so he says, you're going to have to go apologize. I said, for what? I didn't do anything. He says, you're going to have to go apologize for your part in it. And you're going to have to let her know that she may need a program, you know, because she has a problem. Really? Yeah, she lives with an alcoholic. Oh, yeah, that other one, that other program. So I went back home, banged on the door, walked in. You got a problem, sister. You know, you better do something with it. I don't have a problem. You're the asshole. No, I mean the alcoholic. No, you got a problem. You know what your problem is? You live with an alcoholic. Better do something about it. I only told her once. She's been going for like 20-something years to this, 22 years to this Al-Anon. They got a group called Al-Anon. No idea what it does. I've never been to one. I understand it's very scary. And, but whatever they do in there, you know, however they hypnotize you to do whatever they do to you, like we do here, they do it to them, and then they come home and they have this, one of the little rituals that they have is they share on a daily basis with the person they live with, you know? She tells me everything about her boring-ass day, and then I get to tell her about my fantastic life for the day. So we're up to date in each other's lives, you know? Then when the shit hits the fan in any particular area of someone's life, you know, the other person can help unplug the fan. And it's unbelievable. All it takes is just like this stupid-ass program, a daily little maintenance, So how was your day? Ready for mine? Fantastic! And then I brush my teeth. You want to know why? Because it's good for me. I brushed them before I went to bed last night. A lot of people don't brush before they go to bed because they're not going to meet anybody. But it's good for your teeth. I brushed them last night. I tell her stuff like that, you know. Interesting parts of my life. We're up to date in each other's lives. It's unbelievable the stuff that this guy, when I was newly sober, this guy comes up to the door, this kid wanting to win a trip to Hawaii. Hey, I'm Bob. I'm going to Hawaii. You want help? I only need 11,084 billion trillion points. And I said, well, how many books is that, Bob? All of them. All right, I'll buy them all. And I buy them all. Every book you got. Every book in the whole rack. And they start coming. Well, I don't read, you know, number one. So I just put them by the door, you know. No one's there anyway. She's still in Puerto Rico, you know, no one's there. So I just piling them up by the, you know, and these magazines just start piling up. I got sailing, I got wedding dresses, I got, what are those, rocks? Oh, I got ships, I got gardens, I got bus making, I got whatever it is, you know. They just keep, and then the bills start arriving, you know, for cupcake making. I'm don't think I need this one. I'll cancel that one. I send them the check, cancel. I cancel all of them for like another month or two. They keep arriving. And they're by the door. You got to open the door and watch a couple of them. Don't knock the rack over, you know. And they sat there for months. Then one day, I'm thinking, what am I going to do with all this time that I have now that I used to be, you know, what am I going to do? In between meetings, I got to do something. I got to figure out something. So I figured I'll get an idea from these magazines. So I started looking at them all. Never read a word in them. Just look at the pictures. Nice wedding dress. Put it there. You know. Nice bathroom fixture. You know, eventually that little pile goes down, and then I got a big pile of one sheets. You know. So I wait till a rainy day one day, and I sit down in the middle of the room with this big pile of one sheets, and I go, "Ooh, wedding dress pile, boom, bathroom fixture tile, boom, boat building 3B pile." You know, I start putting the stuff all in these piles, and I got 100 piles all over the place, and 2 gigantic piles. Billion little teeny piles and 2 monster piles. And the 2 monster piles are, one of them is wooden furniture, and the other one is gardens. You know, you're talking to a guy who failed wood shop because I didn't want to make the gun rack because I didn't have a gun. And I grew up at the beach. I never planted anything. Ice plants, the only thing that grows at the beach. Never planted anything in my life. Didn't know an ear of corn from an asparagus root. You know, asparagus have a root? Yeah, they got it. And can you smoke it? And so I said, well, I must be interested in wooden furniture and gardens. So I built these crazed gardens in my backyard with peeler logs and railroad ties, and I didn't want to bend over to weed, so I built them like this high, and about 2 dump trucks full of topsoil and poured them all, wheelbarrowed them all in, went down to Mortigan's, got every seed in the rack, spun the rack, every seed in the whole rack, took them home, poured them all in a big bowl, went out and went, and then watered it, you know. My wife came out and she looked right after I watered it and went, "Honey, look at this, my great day today." And she went, "Oh, it looks like mass graves." Very negative Al-Anon people, very negative. So I said, "Watch, stick around, this shit's gonna fly." And it did. As stuff started coming up, there'd be a big oasis of all kinds of stuff and then a little dead area. I'd grab something out of the oasis, put it in the dead area, go out, I kept watering. Babies would come by, they'd read their inventories, we'd burn it up, put it in a pile. I go, "Fruit, flowers, veggies, what do you want?" "Oh, flower, oh, okay." Throw them in there, you know, burn this inventory, throw the thing in there, water. It's survival of the fittest. There's not a row of anything. It's all just, Barragio pushing out the lavender, shoving out the rosemary, the fig trees coming with the bam, boom. This stuff started, it went nuts, absolutely nuts. And every year, some of this shit dies. Some of it dies. Some of it stays living, but some of it dies. So you got to take all the dead stuff. I take it out, throw it in a big pile. I chop it up with the machete, dig a hole, throw the dead stuff in there, cover it over. Next year, that pops back up as other shit. And don't ask me how. But every year, this garden just keeps changing and shedding stuff. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And who knew? I had no idea I would like this stuff. Now for Christmas, I'm making zucchini bread and giving my fig jam that I've made to my pals. You know? Zucchini bread. You like it? And wooden furniture. I mean, you throw your Christmas trees away. I come driving by in the old convertible, cut all the branches off, put in a big plastic bag, and take the stock, throw it in the back of the car. Take it home, line them up, dry them out, legs and arms and chairs and tables and stuff. You know, you can cut just the top of that bark off on all 4 corners. You got a square side with a little trim of bark on all 4 corners. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with that stuff. I made armoires out of Christmas trees, okay? Chairs, tables, seats, whatever you want. It's good wood. It's free, you know, for fun and for free. I started making this stuff, no nails, all dowels. You know, you can use the little branches for dowels if you want to, but I go down and buy the dowels. They're a lot straighter. And just glue, dowels, drill, bam, make yourself a house. You know, do whatever you want. Unbelievable. Unbelievable the fun you can have just just hanging out and being sober and having a lot of extra time on your hands, which I did. Now I had this studio. She kicked me out of the backyard because it started looking like Sanford and Son. So I got a studio downtown. I had it for 16 years. Then they kicked all the artists out and turned them into condos, and I lost that. Now I got stuff hidden all over friends' barns and stuff, and a little hidden in the back of the house that she doesn't know about, but she'll find it. And kicked me out of that. And so I got no place to work right now, but I'm kind of working in the back and just kind of jerry-rigging a little table and stuff and working off that. But you really need a real place, So the last couple of years have been a little slow for the cedar trunks, which is one of my masterpieces, I'm big in cedar trunks with hardwood tops. And so it's been a little slow the last couple of years. But doesn't mean you can't put your orders in. I don't charge. For fun and for free. Now, and I just keep making stuff. I'd rather give somebody a table that I made than a sweater that, they're never going to wear anyway because, my taste sucks, And I learned how to do that here. I originally did it because I didn't have any furniture. The cocaine dealer had it all, So I originally made that stuff out of necessity. Now I'm making it for like fun and for free. In fact, I've tried to bring a little monetary thing into it, and it doesn't work for me. Might work for you, might be great for you, but it doesn't work for me. I made some birdhouses. I saw a pile of shingles thrown away by somebody. I scooped them up, threw in a convertible, drove them down, and started making birdhouses. Oh, shingles, great, perfect for the roofs. I was making birdhouses, and I was putting them all around the yard, and birds were flying around, and it was great. Someone came by and went, "Oh my God, I love your birdhouse. Oh, yeah, you want a couple? I'll make you a couple. Oh, here's a check. $250, Here, make me a couple of birdhouses." I said, "No problem." Went down to the bank, threw it in there, went down to the studio, started whipping that. That's terrible. No. All of a sudden it became a job. Nothing was good enough. I hated this birdhouse. I hated the job. I hated saying yes. I hated myself. I went back to the bank. I had to take $250 out of the bank, give her back the $250 in cash, and give her two of my birdhouses that I already made that were in my backyard, and that's how I got the zucchini bread recipe, So the little barter thing kind of works okay. And I made an armoire that was pretty cool. I made one like a Santa Fe mission-y kind of whatever. I was downtown. This girl said, "Hey, I love your furniture. Could you make an armoire and I'll pay you for this house that I'm decorating?" I said, "Sure." And then I remembered the birdhouses, and I went, "I'll tell you what, I'll make you one. And if you want to sell it, go ahead. You want to give me half the dough? Fine, whatever." And she said, "Okay, but I have to have it by Christmas." I said, "Sorry." And somewhere in spring, I gave her one because I started like in June. I have a lot of things on my mind. I have a lot of stuff happening, Anyway, I finished it like 5 months after she wanted it, 4 months after she wanted it. And but she still wanted it. And she gave it to these people. We had it delivered and everything else. And then next thing I know, there was a check for like $3,000. $3,000! For what? Found wood that I threw together and made this little stupid thing? I felt really guilty about it, but I took it. But it's the only thing I've ever sold, and feel very guilty about it. Anyway, my life is so much fun. It's like I have a blast doing what I do, and I don't even know what it is that I do. I go to work. I'm an actor. They let me go to work. I go on these sets, and I try to do what you guys told me to do. Create a family, have as much fun as you can, trying to help everybody make the thing. I'm always the guy that's trying to solve the problem. I'm not part of the problem anymore. I'm part of the solution. You guys taught me how to be part of the solution. And I get a lot of jobs from people who I've worked with before. I go, yeah, bring him in because he's part of the solution. I used to be the guy that showed up late, smelling a last night, You know, unshaven, wanting to change everything because I didn't know my words, and could I have a little money up front? Just a little bit. You know, and now today my job is to show up on time, look good, and be of service. Hi, I'm here at 10 o'clock, I shaved, how can I help you? Who are you going to hire? You know, which guy are you going to hire? So it's not really a big deal, and I've never found it difficult to work sober. I can remember stuff, you know. You know, they tell you something and I go, oh, yeah, I can do that. In fact, if someone's having a problem with theirs, I can even help them do theirs because you taught me how to do that, how to be of service, how to help others. And that, of anything that's kept me sober more than anything else in the 25 plus years that I've been here, it's being of service. Someone calls and says, can you be over here at 3 o'clock on Tuesday to help you? Yeah. That's all I learned how to say, yeah. And then I go there and figure out how to do it with them because somebody's going to tell you how to do it. Doesn't matter. Nobody knows how to do it anyway. You know, but somehow we get it done. And it's more than the blind leading the blind around here. You know, it's like the helpful being helpful. And we help each other, and it's just such an inside job. You just feel so great by doing it. I mean, I never want to go to the gym. You know, but when I get there, I have the best time. I never want to go to meetings. But I get there, I have the best time. So obviously, that my whatever you call that thing is not serviceable. You know, I mean, it's not. I have to be told, kind of. You know, I love a director, and for me, it's the group and my higher power, and sometimes that Puerto Rican I married. Thanks for letting me come and share.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst and one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. and I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.